Teacher Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma, in 100,000 million eons, is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's truth and actual meaning.
Okay, so basically now we go ahead and conclude the story about what we have learned so far. Okay, hold on, hold on. Okay, in Buddhism there are 8 different blessing field. Field it means just like the forming field, it's very big, right? So all right, Nathan, you want to read this one?
Buddha, wait, from the top.
Yeah.
Buddha said there are 8 different blessing fields. If we can make an offer to those blessing fields, we will definitely earn a lot of blessings. Here are the 8 blessing fields.
Go ahead.
Offer to the Buddha. Buddha, the enlightened one, perfects both wholesome deeds and wisdom. Anyone who offers to the Buddha will eradicate his/her bad karma and gain immeasurable blessings and merits. Offer to the arhats or saints. Also, Buddha's disciplines who end all the suffering and escape from the birth and the death cycle. Therefore, offering to those worthy ones will receive immeasurable blessings and merits.
You understand this one?
Which one?
Do you understand what you just read?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the first two blessing field is if we offer to the Buddha, we will definitely we gain a lot of blessing because that's how we be able to eradicate our bad karma. And when we offer to the Arhat, that's why also the Buddha disciple, who diligently practice and be able to end all the suffering and escape from the birth and death cycle. Therefore, offering to those worthy ones, we will also receive the immeasurable blessing. All right, Ryan, you read this one.
Who has virtue and ability to
No,
transmit.
read the bold one first.
Oh, okay. Offered to the Upadhyaya, most venerable preaching monks. Offered to the Sangha.
No,
Offered to.
no,
Oh,
who have virtue?
who has virtue and ability to transmit the Dharma to others, so others can also apply the Buddha's teachings to gain the same benefit. Those who receive benefit from the teaching should acknowledge the gratitude to pay the gratitude. Thus, offering to this venerable master obtains a lot of blessing. Offer to the Sangha, the community of monks and nuns who carry on the Buddha's teachings, that now we have a chance to learn the Buddha's teachings.
Okay, stop right here.
Offer,
You
okay,
understand what you read?
yes.
Okay. So let me tell me what you understand.
I understand that if you offer to the Sangha and the Upadhyaya, then you'll get a lot of blessing and um, yeah, you'll get a lot of blessing and you may have a chance to learn the Buddhist teachings
Okay.
and
That's good. Because the monk and the nun who is the one who carry out the Buddha teaching that we now be able to learn from them that about the Buddha teaching, right? Otherwise, we will not be able to learn. Therefore, offer to them, we will also pray a lot of blessing. Just like when you nearby the wise, right? You will become wise. Does it make sense? Ryan?
Yes.
Good. Megan, read the next one. E.
Offered to the monks, serve as teacher of the monks within the monastery. He is an assistant of the Upadhyaya in teaching other monks in the monastery or temple.
Good. That means this is the assistant of this one right here. That he also teaching the monk inside the temple. Offer to him is also gain a lot of blessing. All right, that's good. Go ahead and Vincent, go ahead and read the F and T together.
Offered to our Father, due to our Father, we have this body, and he has devoted all his life to love, to care, to educate us in morality up to now. How can we pay back this gratitude in which it is beyond material? G. Offer to our mother. Due to our mother, we have this body, and she carries her pregnancy 10 months period with a lot of suffering to give birth to us. She has devoted all his life, uh, all her life
Mhm.
to love, to care, to educate us up to now with unconditional love. How can how can we pay back this gratitude in which it is beyond material?
Good, that's good. Read the note.
The Buddha said, at home, our parents are our two Buddhas.
You know that when you serve your parent, that's how you serve the Buddha, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's important. All right. Um, Thomas, go ahead and read this one. Go.
Giving services to the sick. When we see the sick, we then feel their pain. Therefore, we should compassionately provide medication, treatment, and use loving kindness, words to comfort them, to let them feel less pain and have more peace of mind. In Buddhism, we believe in reincarnation, that we have undergone countless lives in the past, and each life we had a pair of parents. Therefore, we had numberless parents, thus all living beings are our parents, including the sick.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Read a note for me, please.
No. In these 8 blessing fields, offering to the sick is the number one blessing field.
Do you know why giving service to the sick is the number one blessing field? That's beyond the even surpass the Buddha at our parent as well. Why was that?
I think it's because when you're sick, you feel a lot of pain, right? And a lot of people have diseases, and maybe there's no cure. And like doctors and nurses, you tend to help them so they get better, so they can live like happily and not
But
suffer.
but why offer to the sick when we give the service to the sick? Why the blessing is more than we offer to the Buddha or to the sickly one or to the even to our parent? Why was that?
Because you're helping the people who are suffering, that needs the help. You're there for them.
Okay. Tammy Young, what do you think about this?
I agree with what he said. It's because you're helping people when they're in most need, when they can't help themselves.
Hmm. Okay. Bên Nguyên, what do you think? Why this one is more than compared to when we offer to our parents? Why this one is have more blessing than the one that we offer to our parents? Any idea? Bên Nguyên? Khoa, what do you think?
I just agree with what everyone says. Like, they're in times of like they really need the help.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Nathan, what do you think? Anything you want to add? Nathan? Oh, Nathan is dropped out somehow. Okay, that's okay. Pammy June, what do you think? Any idea?
Just like what they said, you should always help others.
Okay, that also true. But when we offer to the Buddha, because this is what we call the referent field. That means we respect the Buddha. That's why we offer to him, right? That's what it means. Yes, we do get blessing, but when that means the same thing with the monk, the sangha, the same thing because we respect them. Therefore, when we offer to them, we do have blessing. But when we offer to our parents, because we owe them the gratitude, right? So when we offer to them because of the gratitude, we want to repay. That's what it means. So, but when we give in service to the sick people, right? The sick one, they're not be able to take care themselves. They need someone to help, right? The one who is the sick one is very suffer, and maybe they are not related to us, right? But when we are given the service to them because due to our compassionate mind, this one right here is trigger that it will help us to develop the compassion, compassionate mind. The compassionate mind in Buddhism is one of the four immeasurable mind. Immeasurable mind. This is very important. That means love and kindness is the first one. Compassion is the second one. The third one is the joyfulness. The fourth one is the forgiveness, right? So those four, this is we should develop. So when we talking about offering, that means all the seven, the first seven, they do not help us to develop the compassionate mind. But the eighth one, this one right here, it helps us to develop the compassionate mind. That means we, regardless who they are, we willing to help them. Then that means automatically our compassionate mind include the parent, right? That automatically when we have the compassionate to the most needed one, then automatically our parent we will not. We also include the parent inside there. Does that make sense to you, Tammy? Tammy Young?
Yes, that makes sense.
Because this is important in Buddhism. Whatever we do, the whole purpose of practice Buddhism is we need to develop the compassion. That's the whole purpose of the Buddhism. If whatever we do, but we cannot be able to develop the compassion or loving kindness, then it's only a small thing, right? Because the blessing comes from the mind. When the mind of the compassion and the mind of the loving kindness, no mind give you the great blessing. That's important. Okay. So today I just want to okay, let's see. Megan, read this one.
Number one or the answer?
Yeah, the question and answer go together.
Okay. Why is offering to the sick the number one blessing field more than the other fields? In Buddhism, there are four immeasurable minds: loving kindness, compassion, joyfulness, forgiveness. The goal of the Bodhisattva path is to resolve the Bodhi mind and perfect the Bodhi mind, which is these four immeasurable minds. Offering to the sick helps us quickly to develop patience, kindness, and compassion. Hence, we obtain immeasurable and unthinkable blessings and merits. When a person has compassionate heart for the sick, his/hers compassionate heart will automatically include his/hers parents. Serving for the sickness serves the Buddha.
Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we will learn quickly here, and I will. This is a very short story, but it's a good thing. The Buddha also do this. Okay, let's. Tammy, June, go ahead and read one.
Suffering of the sickness is one of the greatest suffering to everyone. Whoever has undergone the sickness, he/she does realize suffering of the sickness. The lay people who have a family have struggled in making a living for all of their life, and they hope one day when they get old and sick so they can have their children to take care of them. That is their great hope and that they wish to have.
Okay, that's good. All right. Big William, go ahead and read the story of the Buddha and the sick monk.
Where do I start?
Yeah, the Buddha and the sick monk.
Oh. One day the Buddha visited a monastery. While he was there, he came across a chamber where a monk lay in great pain caused by a loathsome disease. Although there were many monks at the monastery, not one of them were concerned about their sick brother. The Buddha, beholding this woeful situation, began to look after the suffering man. He called Ananda, and together they bathed the monk, changed his dirty bed, and eased his pain. Then the Buddha admonished the monks of the monastery for their neglect and encouraged them to nurse the sick and care for their suffering. He concluded by saying, "Whoever serves the sick and suffering serves me."
Okay, go ahead and read this one.
Oh, because I don't see a problem in the gods in the world amongst Brahmins that no ultimate alms is better than alms to the sick. A person practices this alms, which is true alms, that he or she will harvest large karmic retribution and receive a great merit. Due to this incident, I said caring for the sick means taking care of me. No different, because you will always be obtain great blessings and great merits.
So tell me what you understand from this.
That caring for the monk and serving the monk will equal serving the Buddha.
No, serving the sick, not the monk, right?
Yes.
Serving the sick. Okay. Tammy Young, can you help me to summarize this one for me, please?
I can't help you with this one. Sorry.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm driving in the car. I'm sorry.
Okay, you are in the car. Okay, that's okay. Kwa, can you do that for me?
Wait, did you want me to summarize?
Yeah. Or you can read one more time if you want to.
I can read it.
All right, go ahead and read it.
The Buddha and the sick monk. One day, the Buddha visited a monastery. While he was there, he came across a chamber where a monk lay in great pain caused by a loathsome disease. Although there were many other monks at the monastery, not one of them was concerned about their sick brother. The Buddha, beholding this woeful situation, began to look after the suffering man. He called Ananda, and together they bathed the monk, changed his dirty bed, and eased his pain. Then the Buddha admonished the monks of the monasteries for their neglect and encouraged them to nurse the sick and care for the suffering. He concluded by saying, "Whoever serves the sick and suffering serves me." O bhikkhus, I don't see a person in the gods, in the world, monks, Brahmins, that no ultimate alms is better than alms to the sick. A person's practices this alms, which is the true alms, that he or she will harvest large karmic retribution and receive a great merit. Due to this incident, I said, caring for the sick means taking care of me, the Buddha, no different. Bhikkhus, you all will always obtain great blessings and great merits.
So what do you think?
I thought that the Buddha is saying like, if you take care of the people in need who need help and need others' attention, then you would be helping the mentality of the people who really care. Like the Buddha, he's obviously the he's the someone who would wants to take care of all living beings and wants everyone to be happy. So if other people are treating everyone right and with all the attention they deserve and need, then the Buddha will be happy. Just like how maybe if my grandma was sick and I was taking care of her, then my mom would be happy seeing me do that and caring for her.
Thomas, what do you think? Well, what do we learn from this story here? This is a very short story, but very meaningful.
I agree with Kwa too. It doesn't really you can help anyone, even with like, well, you're supposed to help the sick, right? And to help their suffering is the same thing as helping the Buddha. You're gonna give food, you're gonna give blankets, rice, anything to the Buddha. You could do that also to the sick and help them end their suffering while the Buddha's already healthy, right? Even if the Buddha's sick, you would help the Buddha. So why not everyone else that is sick as well and suffering?
No. In here, Buddha, he insists the focus on the sick people, right? This is the most important. We need to understand why he only focused on the sick people here. Why?
It's because, well, they're suffering and no one's helping them, so they'll just suffer in pain, and one day they will die, and they have so much to live for. And basically, what he's also saying is that whoever serves the sick and suffering will serve him as well.
Right. So you see that at the temple, right? When before the Buddha came and see the sick monk, a lot of monks in there, at the temple, at the monastery, but they did not care about their sick brother. That means bad, right? Very bad. That's why when the Buddha saw the sick monk, and he himself with Ananda take care of the sick monk, and after that he admonished. That means he criticized the monk who neglect on this one and can not care about the sick, and he encouraged them to take care and nurse the sick and care for the suffering, because he said that if you want to serve me, this is how you serve me. You serve the sick. That means you serve me. The people, the Buddha said, he not say that if you serve, if you help other people, you are helping me. No, you are serving me. No, he insists if you serve the sick, because the sick cannot take care of themselves and they are really suffer, and that's why, and they are the most needed one. If we be able to lower ourselves and take care of them, this is the true compassion. This is the important thing that we need to do. And the Buddha said that in the world, right, in this world right here, even in the God or the Brahman, the ultimate given is, that means the ultimate office, nowhere you can, no place that you can be able to perform the ultimate arm better than the arm to the sick. That means the sick people, when you giving the service to them, that is the number one given. That is the most important given, because we will be able to generate the greatest blessing from this. And this is why the Buddha said that the sick, when we serve for the sick, we are the one who are really truly have the compassion. That's the most important in this teaching. That's why the Buddha only concerned that because it's very tough for us to develop the compassion mind, right? Compassionate mind. This is where we be able to develop our compassionate mind. So does it make sense to you, Kwa and Thomas?
Yes.
This is important. So long, when you see the people who are the most needed one, and you're willing to serve them, this is where you generate your compassion. Okay? It's not easy. Taking care of the sick people is not easy. Very tough. And you have to do from A to Z, right? That means you have to take care of them when they need to go to the restroom, and when you have to take a bath, take them to bathe them, right? That means the shower. You have to clean them. You have to do everything. This is very tough work. It's not easy. But if you willing to do it, and you know what, the blessing you have, you will get. Nothing can compare. Okay. So and the story we learned about in the a few weeks ago about the children who disrespect the parent, right? And when they take care of the mom or the mother-in-law, they abuse her so much. That's why they create a very bad karma. And that means after the mom died, not short after that, only 1 month, less than 1 month, the mom passed away. They encounter a lot of problems. That means those children go in and out of the hospital, and they spend more than $10,000 for each one. You see, when we whatever we have, right? If we don't take care them good, and whatever we build for our own future, those things will go away, because we lose it all due to the bad karma that we will receive. The retribution of the bad karma will destroy the wealth, will destroy whatever we have. That's important. So yeah, I know it's very tough. It's not easy when you deal with someone that I know in this world we have some of the parent is bad, right? Not all the parent is good. But even though when we have to take care of the bad parent, should we take care of them? Let me see. Thomas, what do you think?
I
When
think
when our parent is bad, right? They treat us very bad. Should we take care of them when they get old, when they need?
we should take care of them even if they're bad when they're old. You should be helping everyone, even if it's your enemy, your friend, your family. If there's a chance you can help them, and their pain, that's good for you too. You'll earn you'll earn a lot of good karma in the future as well.
But is that easy to do?
No, it's not easy to do.
Very tough. When
Yeah.
you have to approach the one that you hate, right? That's not
Yeah.
easy. That's not easy at all. So I will teach you about today. I will teach you about the Buddhist psychology forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness. Before I teach you that, but I'm in the middle of putting something together, but it's okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, just hold on. I think this will be a very powerful teaching. Um, I'm in the middle of putting something together, but it's okay. Okay, let me, before I teach you the um, the forgiveness, I want you to understand how our mind works, right? I think it's you already understand that how our mind works, right? But I think it's also importantly we need to review that quickly here. You know what? Let me just give me 1 second. Mm, mm, I think that will be Let me see. Hmm. Okay. My mouth. What happened to my mouth? Good. That's okay. I think I can go from here. Ryan and Megan, are you there? Turn on your webcam, so I can help you to understand this. Okay, give me. Okay, all right. Okay. A lot of you already know about this model, but some of you are new, so I will help you to understand this. Let me try to find out the PowerPoint I have for, I think that will be helpful if you learn from that thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, this one. Okay, let's review this one, and before we jump into that one. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, that's okay. Let's do this. All right, Ryan, go ahead and read this one.
The central nervous system controls most functions of the body and mind. It consists of two parts, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is the center of our thoughts, the interpreter of our external environment, and the origin of control over body movement. Like a central computer, it interprets information from our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, as well as from internal organs such as the stomach. The spinal cord is the highway for communication between the body and the brain. When the spinal cord is injured, the exchange of information between the brain and the other parts of the body is disrupted.
Do you understand what you said, right?
Kind of.
Okay, kind of. Okay, that's okay. Kind of is a good thing. Okay, so basically the nervous system, right? The central nervous system, they contain the two parts. The brain, right here is the brain, and the spinal cord right here. This is what we call the spinal cord. All right. So the brain, right? And the spinal cord is the communication line. What are the communication line right here? The nerve. The nerve. That means the nerve connect from the brain throughout the entire body, right? That means all the nerve will run from the brain throughout the spinal cord. And the spinal cord, that means the nerve will connect to entire body. Does it make sense to you? Ryan, you understand so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that when we move our arm, when we move, when we talk, when we smell, when we taste, when we see, when we hear, those things is controlled by the brain. Because why? When we see things, right? That means the brain will send out the signal that we can see. The brain can send out the signal that we can move, whatever the movement or whatever thing. That how that means the brain control the entire body movement, the feeling, the sensation, and the five sense. That means when we use the eye to contact to the form outside, right? The physical or whatever the external object, those things is also controlled by the brain as well. Okay, Vincent, go ahead and read this one.
Example 1, the sight through the medical field. When our eyes see a rose flower, the eyes are just like a camera taking a picture of its flower. The eye will send the image of flower to the brain through nerves. Once the brain receives the image object, it then converts the image object into the sight. If in the past we have learned or heard about this flower, then now we can be able to recognize and distinguish about the rose flower, such as color, size, and flower information.
Okay, go ahead and read the next one.
Which consciousness does provide the function of distinguishing? Answer: the brain gives us the ability to distinguish, not the eyes. Our eyes are just like a window. If a window is broken, then we just need to replace it with a new window. It is also the same with the other four faculties, um, such ear, nose, tongue, and body. Our brain controlled our entire body, movement, senses, and etc. Nowadays, the medical scientists have tested the artificial eye on a mouse that they have connected the nerve to the artificial eyes and restored up to 90% of the sight. In the future, they will try to test on the human.
Do you understand this, right?
Yeah.
So when the eye, right, when the eye see a flower, do you think that the eye can be able to distinguish?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet, right? They only see this is a rose flower, but nothing else, no detail on the flower. Therefore, they send those data to the brain. The brain will convert it into the site, right? That means they load the data into the short-term memory. Those data become available. Let me give you an example like this. You see that, let's say on your iPhone, right, you have an app, right? The app will reading the data from the database, right? When they reading the data, do you think that the app be able to distinguish this data is represent for something? Do you think that the app be able to distinguish when they read the data?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
What do you think, Kwa?
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's say on your iPhone you have an app, right? And you enter the data, and the app go to the database and read the data from the database. During the time they read the data from the database, do you think the app know this data represent whatever the information we want to search? Do you think the data know how to distinguish the data? The app, when they perform the reading?
I feel like it would have to go through like a processing phase to process the data.
Yeah, but the reading is not processing, right?
Yeah.
But where do they processing?
In the brain of the phone.
No, I'm talking about the app, right? I'm talking about the app on the phone.
Yeah.
Emmy Young, what did you think? Are you there? Okay. What do you think, Thomas?
Yes, Ty?
Let's say the app on your iPhone, when you enter the data in there, and that data, the app using that data and read try to read the data from the database. During the reading data, do you think the app know this kind of data, what it represents? For example, this data, do you think that during the reading operation, the app be able to distinguish the detail or whatever the data they have?
I think it depends on what data they put in for it to distinguish.
Okay. Okay, because you have to be computer science, you understand this. Okay, but it's okay. Let me explain to you. It's easy for you to understand. When the app reading the data, that means the data, the result, right? The result data coming back. Those data is only during the reading. They are not yet in the memory yet. They're not yet in the memory. If the data is not yet loaded into the memory, that means the result, the data result is not yet in the memory. Do you think the application be able to visualize those data? Thomas?
Wait, can you repeat that? You cut off for me on my side.
Okay. So when the app, right, let's say that you enter something to for the app to search the data on the database, right? They get the result back. So that means the app reading carry the result, but without not yet put into the memory. Do you think that the app be able to see it?
Yeah, maybe I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
No. In order for the application to be able to visualize the data, to be able to analyze the data, to be able to processing the data, it has to be in the memory.
Oh, okay, I see.
If the data is not in the memory, that's why the iPhone, whatever, the computer, the laptop, the iPad, or whatever, you need to have the RAM, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the RAM, that means the memory, you cannot boot up the computer because the application, they need to have the memory in order to process the data. Does it make sense?
Yes. Now it does.
Now that means our brain the same thing. When the eye consciousness send the data object into the brain, that is just like sending the data, but it's not yet in the memory, not yet into the short-term memory yet. That means the short-term memory belong to which one? To the brain or to the other part of the body? Thomas?
Other part of the body?
No, the short-term memory, where it belongs to.
Oh no, that's the brain.
To the brain, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the brain is just like the central processing unit, right? Basically, the brain process the data only when the data into the memory. That's where they can be able to process. That means that is the time when we be able to visualize, when we be able to think, be able to plan, whatever we want to do. Those things come from the memory. Kemi Chung, you understand so far?
Yeah.
Okay. This is okay. That's why when we say that the eye is it's just like a window, right? Because the eye cannot be able to distinguish by itself, but they rely on the brain in order to be able to distinguish. So that's why we say that the eye is like a window. If the window, that means in our house, right? We have many windows, right? If the window is broken, we just replace. And that means if our eye is no longer work, we just use they now be able to test the artificial eye, right, on the mouth. They be able to restore the sight up to 90% of the sight. That's incredible, right? That's amazing. They're going to do it on on the human in the future. Okay. No. Okay. I think it's I before we learn in the reason I want you to understand this one in detail. So later on, when I teach you the forgiveness, and you know how your emotion work, your feeling work, based on you understand on the how the mind works in Buddhism. That's very important. And okay, May Win, go ahead and read this one.
When our eyes see a rose flower, it will create eyes consciousness. The eyes consciousness is just like a camera taking a picture of its flower. Eyes consciousness is like a wait. The eyes consciousness will send the image of flower to the mind through nerves. Once the mind receives the image object, it will loads the data into its short-term memory. The mana self-consciousness attaching to the self will grasp the data from the mind's memory and pushes it into the alaya eighth consciousness storehouse. Since mana consciousness attaches to seeds in the alaya as real self, it always wants to inquiry about the data object from the alaya consciousness. The alaya will search all the relating data about the rose flower. The alaya will return such result to the mana consciousness. The mana gives it to the mind consciousness. The mind consciousness loads search result data into the memory. If in the past we have learned or heard about the flower, then now we can be able to see the images of rose flower from the memory and be able to distinguish about the rose flower, such as color, size, and memory information.
Okay. Do you understand so far?
Yes.
Okay. Can you be able to summarize what you understand?
No.
I know. It's a lot of technical terms, so it's very tough for you. I know. It's not easy. Okay. Let me quickly explain to you. So the first one, we learned the side to the medical field, right? Now we will learn the side to the eight considered the Buddhist view, okay? So when our eye see the flower, the flower, right, it will create the eye consciousness. And the eye consciousness just like the camera, just like similar to the way that we are using the medical view. So it will send the image of flower to the sixth consciousness, I mean the mind consciousness. And when the mind consciousness load the data into the memory, right? This is where we can be able to visualize, we can be able to plan. And this is basically, this is the time that the mind be able to distinguish some data, right? But not the detailed data yet. And also the mind consciousness can inform the eye consciousness to be able to distinguish. But if at this time the mind consciousness want to know more about the details of the rose flower, it will trigger the alaya consciousness well to help them to send the inquiry to the alaya consciousness. The mana consciousness will send the inquiry that I want to know the detail of this rose flower. And that means in the past, if we have seen or learned about the rose flower from the book, from the teacher, from someone else, those information or those knowledge will be inside the alaya consciousness. That's what we call the storehouse. And those content and that storage will alaya will be able to inquiry about the detail of the flower, and the knowledge will provide the detail. That will be a part of the detailed data when the alaya return the search result, right? Search result to the mana, and the mana will compare, and that's how they trigger the emotion, right? Um, and the mana give the result back to the mind consciousness, and the mind consciousness load the result data into the memory. That means that right now the short-term memory, they have more detailed data, and that's why the mind conscious be able, that means the brain be able to distinguish and to be able to know more detail about the rose flower, and that's why the mind consciousness will inform the eye consciousness be able to distinguish as well. So that's important. Um, so this is important, all right? Um, um, so today I will, we will, okay. And the same thing with the ear, right? The ear is similar concept. The ear is similar concept. They're not much different, but this is the way that how we be able to distinguish. Christina Val, go ahead and read example number 3, and we can stop right here. And next week I will continue on into the. Okay, go ahead.
When we listen to a song, our ears contact the sound of the song. It then creates ears consciousness. The ears consciousness is just like a camera taking a picture of the sound. The ears consciousness will send the image of the sound to the mind, 6 consciousness brain, through nerves. Once the mind receives the image object, it loads the brain into its short-term memory. Since the mana 7 consciousness attaches to the seeds in the alaya as a real self, it wants to know the details of the sound object. Therefore, it will grasp the data from the mind's memory and push it into the alaya, a consciousness storehouse. The mana consciousness always wants to inquiry about the data object from the alaya consciousness. The alaya will search all the relating data about the song. The alaya will return its search result to the mana consciousness, and the mana gives it to the mind consciousness. The mind consciousness loads the search result data into the memory. If in the past we have heard or learned or heard about this song, then now we can be able to see the images of song from the memory and be able to distinguish about the song, such as song author, meaning of the song, and the song information.
Do you understand what you said, right?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, it's similar concept. So when the eye hear the song, right, that means that the eye it create the eye constant, the ear constant, and just like the camera, it take a picture and send those picture objects to the mind consciousness, and it load into the memory, and those data, it not have the detail yet, right? The detail of the sound of the song. So the mind say that I want to know the detail of this. So that trigger, that function will trigger the mana consciousness to wrap the data and put that data into it, into the alaya to search for it, and the result come back to the mana, and mana give that to the mind consciousness and load into the memory. And that's where we be able to visualize, to think about, to processing, to plan, to analyze, or to the detail of the data. We be able to see it. We be able to distinguish, and this is come from the mind consciousness. So therefore, the mind consciousness will help the ear consciousness be able to distinguish the information as well. So that's important. So let's stop right here. Next week I will we can learn a little bit into the mana consciousness. This is important. And when we done with this, I also help you to understand. I pray different model of the different model of the eight consciousness. For example, when a person do the reading, how the information put into the alaya consciousness. When the person try to memorize the vocabulary, how the information, how the mind work in Buddhism to put that data into the alaya consciousness. And when the person uh, 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 thinking and all those things, we try to have a different way of try to understand how the mind, the Adaya consciousness become very powerful, and that will help us. Even though when we have the bad habit or the good habit, how the Adaya consciousness become the most powerful one, that help us or that destroy us, okay, in one way or the other. So we have to be. Mm. Okay. Nicholas, go ahead and read this one.
May every wait, is my mic working?
Yeah, may every living being.
Okay. May every living beings, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find and give in unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay. I will see you next week. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
You too.
I'm